Good morning guys, welcome to Thermomixing Adventures. Lisa here. Hey look, today we're continuing on our barbecue series and we're making some beautiful mini chicken Kievs. Now if you've not made chicken Kievs in your Thermomix, it's time to give it a go this weekend, okay? It is actually incredibly easy. You can kind of progress from one step to the other, which makes it even easier. And let me show you today how it can be done. I would recommend making these in advance and actually putting them in the fridge for later. The little butter bit in the middle is better if it's cold, okay? So if it's lukewarm or already started melting, it melts too far in the oven when you go to cook them. And by the way, these are cooked in the oven, which I'm going to do in my smoker, but you could do in a pizza oven. You can just do in the oven, that's fine. And they're not deep fried. You know, how good is that? They're not even shallow fried. You can trickle oil over the top, you don't have to, but you know what's in your food, which is just amazing. So come with me today, let me show you these. These are called mini chicken Kievs. There is also the skinny mixes Kievs, I'll cook you do as well. So check those out, but let me show you today. I'm gonna make them gluten-free. They will have dairy in them. I'm using chicken breast, and let's do this. So they're on cook today. You can see my kids are in charge of cooking on a Friday, so you can see they've already got some stuff there for lunch and snacks. So here is our mini chicken Kievs. I think it's an Australian New Zealand collection. It might be called Retro. I feel like it might be the one that was like kind of the 90s food collection. Check that out. It's got like the I was gonna say Bonson bun. That's not how you say it. What is it? Oh, I can't remember. It's got a bun that was like from my childhood with the Kofa style icing on it, and it's like a fruited bun loaf. It's beautiful, I'm sure. Not something I eat these days. They make me feel sick, but give those recipes a go. Find this collection, put it on your cook today, or put it in your saved collections. Let's go to start cooking. There are a few tweaks I'm going to make as per usual, so come along and I'll show you that. Say hi if you're watching on. Remember to share these videos with friends and family who might have a Thermomix, TM31, TM5, TM6, or maybe another thermo cooker, and show them what else they can do. That's the beauty of these videos, okay? So I am cooking from Cookie Do, but because I'm stepping you through it, you could watch these videos and cook to it. How cool is that? All right, 20 grams of olive oil to start off with. Now it's got 100 grams of bread cut into pieces. Changing that up a little bit. You could use bread, right? Old bread crust in the freezer, perfect, amazing. Gluten-free, doesn't matter. I'm going to do it a little different. I'm going to use our breakfast seed mix. So in the mornings, we make little fritters. They're sweet potato and zucchini, a little bit of purple onion, a whole lot of eggs, and this seed mix. It's literally walnuts and cashews and almonds and sunflower seeds and pepitas. So we just have this on hand. We mill this down and have it on hand to go in those brekkie circles. So I'm going to actually use that as my crumb mix for the outside today. Just nutritionally, just adding more denseness to my food when I can, and when I have the brain space to do so. Doesn't always happen, right? But I'm going to try today. And also, I don't have bread. Simple as that, right? So there we go. Close enough to 100. You can see my scales jumping around as I push on my bench. That's okay. Don't stress about the little bits here and there. Okay, oregano. Half a teaspoon dried oregano. Oh, dried oregano. Apparently it's a new packet and I just spilt it on myself. You can see the fan going today in here. It's a bit humid. We're expecting a whole lot of rain. Hello, Sue. Lovely to have you on today. Thanks for saying hi. Just grab that bit off the bench. Was a clean bench. Okay, next. Paprika. Okay, it says a quarter of a teaspoon for paprika. Okay, in this goes. Normally I'd have these in my awesome containers up the back, but I need to wash a few of them out to reload, hence the reason I've got new containers. If you ever want a link to get one of those, let me know. It used to be something Thermomix sold in the mix shop, and I got this years ago, and it has traveled in my caravan. It has been behind me in my videos forever. Usually beside me as well. It's only recently gone back behind me, these spice racks. They are available only now on Amazon, and if you want to get one, I actually signed up specifically to get an affiliate link for those on Amazon. So if you do want a new spice rack system, send me a PM and I'll actually send you that link. It's cost you exactly the same and I get a tiny little bonus from it. So if you're ever interested in a spice rack system, I highly recommend them. I've been using them for years, and as I said, they in the caravan, new home, like they just move. Spare bedroom because kitchen's getting renoed, you know, it just moves with you, which is awesome. So yeah, just thought I'd mention that. I get a lot of questions, which is actually why I went and pursued the where can I get them now? Oh, I should sign up as an affiliate for this and actually get a little bit of a kickback for it. So thank you to those of you who do think of me in those processes. Same as the mix shop. You know, these aren't available in the mix shop. But, you know, when you shop there and you put a consultant's name at the checkout, we get a small kickback from Thermomix, and truly it is appreciated. Okay, so we really, really appreciate the times you think of us before that checkout button and put the name in. So don't leave it blank, okay? It just misses the middleman out. All right, paprika, pepper. A little bit of pepper in there. You can see the fan, it's pushing all the things sideways in there. And some salt, half a teaspoon of salt. Okay, in this goes. Alrighty. Now, have you downloaded this series, this barbecue series? I've got a download for you, 16 recipes on an A4 page from my website, TMXing Adventures. I still haven't got that blog out yet, guys. I hope to get it tonight. I need my husband to proofread it because English is not my best strength, okay? You probably know that already. If you've been watching me a while, you will know that spelling, punctuation, my brain runs at a different speed to what I can type. And then when I go to reread it back, I don't see the mistakes. So thank you for being gracious with me when you get things that have not been proofread. But yes, I've been waiting for him to proofread this blog for the week, and hopefully tonight, so that I can get that out to you. And that will actually have it there. Those of you who are subscribers already, you've got it. So it came out a couple of weeks ago to your inbox. All right. So let's keep going on with this lid. And we're going to mix it for 10 seconds on speed 7. Hello Tina, lovely to have you on. Thanks for saying hi as well. Yeah, everything you get from me is literally from me, okay? No AI system wrote it. It's from me. Spelling mistakes and all. You're getting the real deal from me, okay? So now it says to transfer to a large plate and set aside, okay? And I'm just actually going to put it in like a big bowl with deep sides. So that's our coating, okay? We'll put that aside. Now we don't need to clean out the bowl. How good is that? Actually, can I just make note of this? You'll notice when you pull it out, it's a little oily. Now, number one, I didn't use flour. Flour is more absorbent than my nut and seed mix is. But what you're also going to notice with the oil is that's why you don't have to trickle oil or coat it in oil or spray it in oil when you go and put it in the oven. It's got it, you know, in that coating so that it's there ready to go. All right, so that looks like a dark breadcrumb mix. I'll show you what that looks like. Okay, ready to go. So next up, we're making our beautiful butter filling. So 125 grams of chilled butter. You do want it to be cold, just because it goes mushy otherwise. Cut into cubes. So I know I'm not very good at cutting into cubes. Did I not even reset the scales? Hang on, guys. Let's go tear. All right. There we go, halfway there. They're big cubes today. 106. Now this is going to make 20 balls. I'm going to try and make 12. There is 6 of us here, so you know that makes more sense to me than people arguing over the last bits, cutting them up. So just, you know, you can do that. That's the beauty of Thermomix cooking. You know, like you can actually decide how many you're going to make. 4 garlic cloves, so I'm going to put in, I don't know, about that much, however much I think kind of feels like a clove of garlic times 4. All right. And one day I'm going to have my life's going to slow down enough that I can actually get the garlic cloves and chuck the garlic cloves in again. It's been a while, and we're growing them as well. Okay, 5 parsley leaves. Our parsley doesn't love the water at the moment. This is all I could get. Put in half a teaspoon, a heaped half a teaspoon of dried parsley, okay, if you don't have parsley from the garden. 5 grams of fresh chives. Chives is something we actually have always grown, to the point that usually it gets old and decrepit and we have to pull the whole vine out, like the whole vine's the wrong word, whole plant out. It looks so pretty. At the moment, the bees are absolutely loving the little white flowers on it. So if you haven't got chives growing, it's one that I would say get growing. Okay, it grows pretty easily. I know years ago we had one that we literally at our old house had for 5, 6, 7 years, and it did have a hard time with little bugs in the end, little black bugs. But while they're young and vibrant, they do really well, and it's easy to chuck it in food. So next, okay, some more pepper, and we're just about finished the filling. So we've made the outside, we've made the filling, and next we're actually going to make the chicken mince ourselves. So when you've got a Thermomix, you don't need to buy chicken mince or even beef mince or any of those things. You can literally make it yourself in the Thermomix. So I'll show you that in a second. 40 seconds, speed 5. Now, you can hear it's pretty much done. Can you guys hear that? You can hear that it's free spinning, it's stuck out to the outside. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to stop it there. I'm going to get my baking paper, excuse me as I bend down and blow it onto the floor. And we're going to wrap this up, and it says to wrap it up into little logs. I'm going to fast track this step. It's not ideal. Ideally, put your butter in and then put it in the freezer, okay? But I want to show you how to do it. So I'm going to fast track it. So there's that beautiful butter mix done. How cool is that? So I'll just go next. It tells you to divide it into 2 pieces of baking paper. I'm just going to use one. I'm going to go on the diagonal so you get the longer strip out of it. And it says to roll it into a cigar length, I think. And it says about 2 long cigar shapes, approximately 1 centimetre in diameter. So quite thick, skinny, because you know, these are mini Kievs. You don't have to make mini though, remember. You can make them, they'll cook a bit longer if, they'll need to cook a bit longer if you don't do minis, but do however many you need. Or even, like, this is perfect for freezer food. If life is crazy for you at the moment and you just feel like you're chasing your tail all the time, make this. Put it in the freezer, because it means when life is busy and you're like, oh, what are we going to eat? You can literally get out of the freezer, preheat your oven, but get out of the freezer, put it on the tray, cook it for half an hour. You've got dinner. Like, these are great to have on hand in the freezer. So there's my hunk of butter. Now this has to go into 12. I wouldn't bother. You guys know I don't love handling my food. I've always been like that. Bit weird like that. I'm actually going to, instead of putting it into a log, I'm going to put it into a rectangle, because really I just need, I'm making my rectangle about 1 centimetre high like they suggested, but really I just need 12 chunks out of it to put inside my mini Kievs, yeah? Now you can see how soft that is. Admittedly, it's like 29 degrees here today, but that's why you need to put it in the freezer, okay? So we're going to put it aside. We're going to pretend I've put it in the freezer. It's going to make it more messy for me, but it's going to be more practical for you to see how to do this, okay? So bear with me. So that I can show you how to finish this. Ideally though, shove that in your freezer. See it says here, put it in the freezer. Preheat the oven, okay? Then it says place 4 tablespoons of plain flour into a separate plate and set aside. So I've got gluten-free plain, and I'm just going to put it into here. Yes, into here. It says 4 tablespoons. You obviously, we're doing gluten-free. If you don't have gluten-free flour, you don't do gluten-free, just use plain flour. Okay, use baker's flour. That would work as well. Okay, 60 grams of Parmesan. I did make mention earlier, this is actually, in my opinion, far better if you make it in advance and chuck them in the fridge or freezer until ready. Even freezer. Like, if this is morning, we're having them tonight. I will off camera I'm only going to make one for you guys, because it's going to be gooey. That butter's soft. It's not solid. By the time you get it out of the freezer, you want it butter texture again, like solid. But I will show you how to make one before I put it in the freezer, and I'll come back later. But when I've finished them, I'm going to have them all on the tray. I'm not even going to cover them. I'm just going to put them in the freezer until 5 o'clock this afternoon. I get them out of the freezer, and I'm going to cook them from freezer, because that butter does so much better when it's come out of the freezer. Okay, rather than it being semi-melted. So, I mean, you could, if you're in a hurry, by all means, do exactly what they're telling you right now to do. Okay, how much is that? I'm a little short, that's okay. So by all means do what they're telling you to do, but if you've got the time, or if you want something that's good for your freezer for later, this is the recipe for you. Okay, 10 seconds, speed 7. It's going to be noisy for a moment. So we're making the actual chicken mix now, okay? So that's actually what we're doing here. Okay, chicken pieces cut into chunks. Look at that, that's the grated cheese. Remember, I didn't have a clean bowl. This has gone straight into the butter bowl. No washing between steps. Okay, so if you're looking at that going, oh, it's stuck to the sides, that's why. Okay, so the butter there. Okay, 500 grams of chicken. Actually, it's probably a bit more. I just did half of the pack that I had. Now, if you want to be doing, say you wanted this to be meatballs or meat patties or something like that, and you wanted to use a red meat like rump, you can use it, just cut off the fat, okay? And also, if you want a nicer dice, or say it is a bit fatty, but you don't want to lose that fat, freeze it or semi-freeze it, okay? So it will chop down much nicer from that state. 1 egg, so I'm doing 2 eggs, because we have teeny eggs at the moment. Our little bantams are making little eggs. So I'm going to actually put in, this is a really great place to crack your eggs, okay? So I'm putting in my teeny tiny eggs. They're so cute. We had the tiniest egg the other day from one of our green laying chickens. Those of you who've been watching on, we've got some green eggs. And it was marble size. And I said to the kids, it'll just have white in it. There'll be nothing else. Well, we cracked it on the barbecue with our morning eggs. And it was this teeny tiny thing. And it had a yolk in the middle. I was so surprised. Like, it literally was no bigger than, well, it wasn't even macadamia size. Like, it was closer to a marble than a macadamia. It was so hard to crack. But it actually had the white and a tiny little yolk. It was very cute. So the kids are really enjoying it. Some salt. So in with the salt. There we go, 1 teaspoon. You could put your veggie stock in, guys. I normally would. If I was off camera and had a bit more time to me at the moment, I'd be putting veggie stock into that step. Okay, a teaspoon of veggie stock. Just a thought. Okay. 2 tablespoons of the reserved crumb coating. So that's this stuff up the back here. 2 tablespoons. So it's just going to thicken that up a little bit, I presume. That's looking yummy. And then on with the lid, and we're going to make mince. So 40 seconds on speed 9. Let's spin that up. Oh, didn't like that. Let's try again. Put the lid on properly, Lisa. Okay, 40 seconds, speed 9. Off it goes. Mixed together. We now have our 3 parts complete. So roll the minced chicken into meatballs, approximately 20 of them, and then roll them in flour and set aside. Okay, so look at that. How cool is that? I love it. If you want to be precise, put it all out like you would like bread rolls and divide it up. I'm just going to grab a chunk of it today to just show you what a mini meatball might look like. Okay, so there's a piece you can see there. Okay, my thing was buttery. You can see the butter on there. So into the flour, then set aside. I'm not ready to get dirty fingers yet. Remove the butter from the freezer and divide it into your 20 pieces, or in my case, the 12. Using the end of a wooden spoon or spatula, make a small indent in each meatball and insert a piece of butter. Gently press to seal, covering all the butter with chicken mixture. Dip each butter in a lightly beaten egg. So I've got another egg here to crack. It's not much bigger than the other ones. Don't know if it came from bantams or what it did, but anyway. So lightly beaten egg. I'm just saving getting my hands dirty until right at the end. So just lightly beat that up. fork would be better. If you've never beaten an egg before, a fork would be more ideal than the end of a knife, but that's okay. I didn't bring a fork in with me. Alright. There we go, look at that, beaten egg. So, and then put it in the reserved breadcrumbs and then put it on the tray, okay? And then repeat it with all of them. Then bake for 20 minutes at 200. Now, if you're bringing it out of a freezer, as I've mentioned, half an hour, preheat your oven and then get them out of the freezer straight onto the tray and straight into the oven. You can wrap these individually as well, so don't feel like, you know, if you are making an entire 20, then you can just wrap them all up individually, ready to go. All right, so let's do one together. Let me show it. I didn't want to do it till the end because I didn't want to touch too many things with chicken fingers. When I've got my other kitchen done, behind my Thermomix is a sink. So I'll be able to wash my hands and not be so grossed out by this process. I know some of you guys are rolling your eyes. That's okay. All right, so meatball into flour mix. Okay. I suppose you could stop at this step and actually cook them as they were if you didn't want to put the stuffing in them. So floured, and then it says set aside. All right, doesn't say set aside for a period of time. It just says you to do all of them. Then it says to poke a hole in it. Now I think the spatula end is probably a little too big. I'm going to just use my little finger instead, okay? Because I think what I've got in here is not appropriate. I'm just going to put some more flour on my finger. Okay, I'm actually going to do it a little different. The way I've done it in the past is actually stretch it out flat. Okay, and then I've made a kind of a money bag with it. So what I didn't get out is my butter. All right, excuse me while I grab a hunk of, and then mine is not solid at all, yeah? So just be mindful that I'm gonna get a bit messy here as I do this for you. So I'm getting a hunk of very spreadable butter, should be solid. Hello Linda, lovely to see you. I'm gonna put that in the middle. Yours should be solid. You should actually be wrapping it around. It's so solid that it will easily, it's what's going to give it its form. Does that make sense? So now we're going to enclose this back up. If it gets too sticky, that's okay. Put some more flour under it. That's probably why the flour as well. So I'm doing that right now. I'm just putting it back in the flour because it's starting to stick to my mat. My little, it's a chopping board. It's not a mat. Okay, so I've got that enclosed. Look at that. And now it says to put it in the egg. Just make sure you seal it up well. It will bubble out otherwise. It won't bubble as much if you freeze it though, or at least have it semi-frozen, because it will be set, and that's the last thing to kind of, it heats up slower because it's cold. So then, look at that. You guys see that? Okay, into the egg. I'm so not looking forward to having my hands this dirty. And breadcrumb mix, okay? So into there, flip it over. This is where I usually recruit my children to come help, and then into the breadcrumb mix, okay? And by the way, if you're thinking, Lisa, just get gloves, it doesn't help. It still just makes my skin crawl. I've always been like that. Okay, look, little Kiev. Now mine might be a bit darker than yours because I have got that nut mix on it, okay? And into the fridge or freezer. And I'd really highly put it in there, even if it's just for half hour in the freezer. You'll just find that butter, as I said, it doesn't get so messy, it doesn't leak as easily. Your chicken kind of congeals a bit better, so that would be my suggestion there. But I'll share a photo of the final product this evening. Keep an eye out. It won't be until 7:15, 7:30 on my Facebook page where you're watching from now, potentially. Those of you watching on the replay on YouTube tonight, you'll be seeing the finished product beginning and end. But give these a go. They're actually really easy. Like, I think I've been online for, 10 minutes or so doing this as I've chatted too. You could have them in and out of your Thermomix literally in under 5 minutes in the freezer, ready to go. Like, the most fiddly part is the assembly at the end. But the rest of it, simple, so easy. And using stuff that I reckon you've probably got already in your pantry, fridge or freezer. All right, guys, that's it from me today. I'm going to put that butter in the freezer. I don't know how I'm going to stop the video touching my mouse today. If I can support you with anything with your Thermomix, reach out. I'd love to hear from you. I've been sharing some stuff about recruiting and joining the team lately. If you're interested in becoming part of the Thermomix family, reach out. I'd love to give you further information regardless of where you live in Australia. See if it's something that you want to do to, extra income, or something more full-time, or something just for fun to learn more about your Thermomix. All the above, it ticks the boxes. But otherwise, guys, have a fantastic weekend. I look forward to coming to you next week, doing more recipes that you can then partner with your barbecue or your smoker, or just put them in the oven if you don't have either of the above. So take care, and I will see you again with another video soon. So see you then. Bye, guys.